free. Go see these Thrivent financial guys. I actually have money with Thrivent, and I'm very happy with the way they are investing the money. And I don't want to go into who I've got that with, but they do a good job. That's all I can tell you. They are members of FINRA and SPIC. You can also go to thrivent.com/find-a-workshop to register for one of these workshops. Go check them out, man. Thrivent are good folks, good people. They're part of a Lutheran group, so they're doing the best they can. They're a good, honest group of people. Make sure you go see them. Okay, so we're talking about the Clintons and how only 5.7%. Let's talk about the kind of money you're talking. The Clinton Foundation, according to 2014 IRS, spent a hair under $91.3 million on expenses and employee benefits and the rest. They spent less than $5.2 million on charitable grants. This is what I'm talking about. Imagine taking $50 million out of that Clinton Foundation money, giving it to the city of Detroit and saying, listen, we want you to train people, pay the back taxes on those empty homes, and help Detroit residents get into new homes and you can hold their feet to the fire. You say, listen, we're going to give you the home. We're going to train you. We're going to help you get the drywall and the plumbing to fix these homes and get it done. $50 million. Do it, Mr. Clinton. I challenge you. Bill, Hillary, and Chelsea, I challenge you to help the city of Detroit. Instead of bringing in refugees, help the city of Detroit. Put your money where your mouth is, Hillary. You like to come into town and say, hey, give me your vote because I'm going to help you. You haven't helped them in 40 years, Hillary. Haven't helped them in 40 years. You want to put your money where your mouth is, we'll talk about it. Until then, shut up. That's all I can say. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit. One thing, we're going to go into Colin Powell, but before we do, let's talk a little bit about Trump. And Donald Trump went ahead and played the media a little bit, let's say. Oh, my phone lines are just reaching out. Let's go ahead and take a call. Allison, line 1. Allison from Detroit, go ahead. Allison? No one there. Who's on line 2? Welcome to the show. Who's this? All right, we're losing people left and right, Derek. I don't know what's going on. Oh, that's Jenny on line 2? Jenny, welcome to the show. Jenny, welcome to the show. I don't know what's going on.
You got to press the button.
I pressed it 3 times. How you doing, Jenny?
Hi, how you doing?
Good. What's going on?
I have a concern.
Sure.
Guys.
Go ahead.
And I'd like to get it out there. I have heard things about, that Soros wants to take over the election. Jay Johnson wants to take over the election with Homeland Security, all this stuff, right? So I'm going to put it out there because people, I think, need to be aware of it. And if the election gets fixed towards the Clintons, we're going to have a big problem.
Yeah, you know what, Jenny, you know me. I'm a tinfoil hat guy. I love putting on the conspiracy hat and thinking about it. Those things have already been, the balloons have been floated, as they say. Oh, you know what, the Russians are hacking, the Russians are going to fix the election and blah, blah, blah. All I can say is this. The biggest turnout we can get for Trump is what we need, because if it's an overwhelming group of people that say, we want Trump in there, we're tired of the hypocrisy, we're tired of the criminality of the Clintons, we don't want this woman, and we have a huge, huge popular vote for Trump. And then DHS or the Obama administration says that the election was hacked, blah, blah, blah. Then you have an uprising. And, I would say this. I always believe in our U.S. military. I do. When things go wrong in the military, it's normally the bureaucrats' fault, not our military guys. And I hope and pray that they would side with the people in a case like that. But you're right. I'm a conspiracy guy. I'm always suspicious of everybody. And so when those balloons were floated about DHS coming in and taking over and controlling things, because you know who owns a lot of those counting machines, vote counting machines? Soros-funded organizations. They're counting a lot of the votes in Spain, for crying out loud.
And I just wanted to put it out there because I'm praying every day that we get enough people, just like you just said, that it will be overriding, and what can they do? It's like there'll be so many for Trump that if they try to fix it, then they're really in trouble, because I firmly believe that the election in 2012 was fixed.
Yeah. Well, there was a whole lot of fraud. Let's put it that way. I don't know that we could have won it if the fraud was not there, because I think enough people just stayed home on Romney, and that was it. There was nothing you could do there.
I know that too,
but you're right. I agree with you.
I do know there was fraud.
Yeah. Oh, there's a ton of fraud, Jenny. Don't let anybody tell you there's not. There's a ton of it out there. It's happening all the time, and that's why we need voter ID laws. That's simple. Voter ID. Show your ID. You know doggone well if you have the courage to get out and vote, you probably have ID. And if you don't, get out and get it ahead of time. It's no big deal. Do it.
Yeah, I registered for my absentee ballot. I filled out the form. They wanted to know the right questions. Am I a citizen? All that stuff. Why can't other people do it?
Yeah. Well, they should. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. What else you got, Jenny? Anything?
I just wanted to say hey to both of you.
Oh,
I love you guys.
Well,
I really do. I listen every Saturday, and I just really am. We need to pray for this country.
That's it, Jenny. Pray. That's the thing.
Yep.
Put your faith in it. All right. Take care, Jenny.
Oh.
Okay, let's take a call from Allison. There we go. Allison, we lost you. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing today?
Good. What do you got?
Well, I was just listening to the conversation about the refugees and about the money that we're spending, and you know what? I mean, in all reality, it's a threat to our country to bring the refugees over here. We're seeing what's happening in Europe. We're seeing what's happening in Germany. I mean, there's a list of things that are going on. Our country's going down. We're almost $20 trillion in debt. We're paying a family of 4 of the refugees coming over $51,000. I mean, when you're listening to all these statistics, our country, it's like somebody coming into your house and saying, well, I'm going to take a couple of things out of your house. They're coming in, they're going out. They're coming in, they're going out, taking your stuff. And one day, you're going to walk in your house and there's not going to be anything there.
Yeah.
That's what's happening in our country.
Yeah.
We are being ripped off royally, and our country is being taken away from us. And I have to say, depending on a candidate, I mean, America, wake up. I mean, it's like, wake up.
Yeah.
And that's what really bothers me. I mean, you have all these people that are sleeping at the wheel. And, I mean, we can talk about the $20 trillion. We can talk about bringing people over here, and we see people murdered in Europe and the violence that's going on. Until America, and I say until Christians rise up, wake up, people, and start doing something yourself. We actually have the law passed in Michigan with the guidelines for the LGBT, and that's going on another subject. But all these people are saying, I don't like this. I don't like this. Or we've had the Republican Party in office, and we have refugees coming over here. Our debt is increasing, and we have the Republican Party in there. So really, what is the answer?
I think it starts with Trump. Whether you like him or not, whether you think he's rude or not, whether you distrust him or not, it sends a sign. Even if he's not what we expect him to be, and he's a complete liar, it sends a message to the Democrats and the Republicans that we are serious about our vote and we are serious about change, and we're willing to gamble it on this guy that maybe he's not the $10 billion successful businessman that we think he is. Maybe he's a complete sham and a liar and everything else that people say he is. But you know what? The fact that we had put him into office shows how, as a country and as a voting people, we have said enough is enough. We're not going to take any more of your crap. And we're taking back control. That's what it does. You put Trump into office, it tells the elite, the political elite, we've had enough and we are still in control. That's what it tells you.
Well, you know what? I have to say, to me, it's a simple concept. It's like raising your kids, right? And you're talking to them until you're blue in the face. You tell them what you expect of them. And until you live and you breathe it and do it yourself. And in America, the people are going to have to rise up themselves.
Yep.
The people in America are going to have to start. I was thinking about this LGBT thing up in Lansing. Just alone in Detroit, there's 5,000 churches. There's hundreds of thousands of members to churches. Are you kidding me? If the Christians rose up and did something, we could make a difference. And you talk about voting, and I'll give you a statistic on voting. In 2012, we had 58 million evangelicals that were eligible to vote. There was 30 million there was 30 million voters, evangelicals that voted. There was almost 50% of the Christians who did not vote. And you know what? That's terrible. That can swing anything.
Yeah,
that vote can swing anything.
Yep, and let's be honest. Every one of those evangelicals who withheld their vote for whatever reason, whether they didn't like Romney, he wasn't conservative enough, they didn't like the fact that he was whatever, they are directly responsible for an additional 4 years of Barack Obama that we have had to suffer through. And that's why I tell these never-Trumpers now, you may not like him. Here, I'm going to tell this allegory, or use this allegory as something simple, right? Mm-hmm. It's 2024, right? We've had 8 years of Hillary Clinton. There are streets filled with violent refugees chasing you down the street, right? You run into an alley, and in the alley you see a dirty, rusty pipe or an old gun. Your choice is this. Do you pick up that dirty, rusty pipe to defend yourself, or do you take the beat down? Donald Trump is that rusty pipe sitting in the alley. It's all you've got to fight back with right now. This is an election of survival, and if you don't vote for Trump, you're putting Hillary into office in 8 years. You may not be able to vote 8 years from now, or your vote may not even count, because she's going to fill this country with millions and millions and millions of people that are going to dilute the vote that you would normally cast.
And I'm going to have to get biblical on you, okay, Gary? And I'm going to have to say that we need to get back to the Word of God. We actually have based our country on the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And, you know, I really lean heavy on the Christians because, to me, that's the moral compass. In every aspect that we look at, I mean, we have to stand on the Word of God. And somebody had talked about Sharia law. I just really want to remind the listeners out there, this country is based on the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Sharia law is like we don't listen to different gods. We don't adhere to different gods. And so the Christians have to really be clear and understand our positions on what we vote for, what we stand for. And I think that we've walked away from God in this country.
Yeah.
And we're starting to see the wrath of it, the demise of it. And until we get back into the Word, and I really encourage people to study the Word, to know the answers, not what you feel, not what you think, not what you think should be, but to honor a God who is a loving God, who knows what's the best is for you, and He knows the end from the beginning. And we need to get back to God in this country. Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at parents. I drive on Sunday, and I'm thinking, you guys, it's the baseball, it's the football. You're so wrapped up into the entertainment and life. But we're leaving a future for the next generation. We're leaving a future and making decisions today. And I'm thinking, man, you guys got to start getting into the Word.
Yeah.
Get away from your entertainment because
it's a lack of faith and it's a lack of common sense. That's exactly right. Well, great call. I appreciate it, Allison. Call us again, and always good to have you.
Yeah, God bless you. Have a great day.
God bless. Take care. Okay, let's take one quick call from Jimmy in Manchester. Jimmy, go ahead. You wanted to talk about our Washington County Sheriff candidate.
Yeah, I want to talk about him because it's the same as Trump. Trump doesn't know everything. Neither does Ken McGee. And Ken McGee is running for sheriff. Oh, are you still there?
Yep, I'm still here.
Okay, well,
I'll tell you right now, we've got Ken McGee scheduled to come in on the 15th of October, 15th, I think. Yeah.
15th of October, yeah. I'm going to try and get him on the 15th to come out and talk to, there's no Michigan football game that day. It's a bye. I want him to come out and talk to the 5 different township people.
Yeah. I tell you what, folks, look up Ken McGee. It's MAGEE. Look him on Facebook. And this is a guy that we need as sheriff. And I won't let all the figures out of the bed, but if this, I've seen this man's resume. It sits on my desk at home. This is a guy that was involved in the arrest of Pablo Escobar. This guy knows everything about DEA and drugs, and he has the greatest plan to solve our heroin crisis here in Washtenaw County. He really does. This is a hardcore law enforcement guy, but he's got the compassionate conservatism necessary to take care of people with heroin. So it's a great call. What else you got, Jimmy? Because I got something else I want to get to.
Yeah, I know you got something coming up, but what I was getting at, that he's a lot like Donald Trump. He doesn't know everything. He doesn't claim to, doesn't try to, doesn't want to. He relies on you to tell him what to do. What do we need? How is this going to happen?